My dear students of BA Part 3rd, at first wish you all a very pleasant, bubbly, sweet and sound morning. Hope all of you are hale and hearty in this very bizarre situation of COVID-19 with your family and friends. Hope you must be abiding by almost all the rules and regulations formulated by the system just to keep yourself sound. Some of you might have got the vaccine also. Those who have got the vaccine, thanks to them, congratulations to them, and at the same time I request you all to get their drops of vaccine timely or before it becomes late. Dear students, in the previous video of mine, as I remember, I had discussed, however very briefly rather, one of the very important literary figure of 20th century, a man who is an institute in himself as far as the literary activities of 20th century are concerned. He is a very influential writer. He is an epoch-making writer, epoch-making poet, epoch-making dramatist, epoch-making journalist, and epoch-making critic. Of course, you are quite right in recalling his name, and he is, of course, he is T.S. Eliot, Thomas Stearns Eliot. And in that video of mine, we had discussed very briefly the life sketch of T.S. Eliot. And while in discussion, I have informed you or I have told you that Eliot is a great force in modern English literature. He is a great force. He is a vital force. He is a very important force, a mighty signature. A man who influences each and every genre of literature of 20th century. एक ऐसा व्यक्ति जो 20th century की साहित्य की सभी विधाओं को प्रभावित करता है अपनी प्रतिभा से, through his intelligence, through his genius. So he is a great force in modern English literature and had a very complex and many-sided personality. Dear students, Eliot is a prolific writer. A prolific writer is he who writes much, who writes more and more, who devotes his time in more and more literary production, you can say. And Eliot is a versatile genius. He is a man of versatility. Now the question might rise in your mind that what is this word? What is the meaning of the word versatility? Who is a versatile? So versatile is a man who is very genius, or who has the caliber equal-handedly in so many fields at one time. He is versatile. A man of versatility is he who shows his pratibha, who shows his genius in many fields at one time. एक व्यक्ति जो एक ही समय में बहुत सारे क्षेत्रों में अपनी प्रतिभा का प्रदर्शन करता है, अपनी प्रतिभा प्रदर्शित करता है, अपनी प्रतिभा शो करता है, उसको हम कहते हैं ए वर्सेटाइल मैन. एंड इट इज ट्रू ऑफ इलियट. It is more than true rather of Thomas Stevens Eliot, T.S. Eliot. Because Eliot has so many shades and sides in his personality. Eliot is a poet. Eliot is a dramatist. Eliot is a prose writer. And in prose writer, Eliot is a prose writer. Eliot is a journalist. And while working as a journalist, he writes so many literary and he writes so many literary and critical essays also. And as a critic, he comes forward with so many innovative ideas, with so many formulations, you can say, with so many fresh formulations, with so many pronouncements. So Eliot is his personality is a mingling of many rather. His personality is a mingling, misrana. Is a good mingling, you can say. Is a beautiful mingling of so many things rather. Eliot is a classicist. At the same time, he is a traditionalist also. Eliot classicist हैं और वे traditionalist भी हैं, because he does not ignore the importance of tradition in the field of literary activities or in the field of any art, you can say. If you go through one of his very brilliant and important critical work, The Tradition and Individual Talent, there you will find out in what a great way, in what a great style Eliot champions the importance of tradition in the making of an artist of any field. There, in that particular essay, he sings the saga of the importance of tradition in the making of the individual talent. He very emphatically and forcefully says that it is tradition and historical sense which leave their everlasting impact and impression upon a writer, upon the artist of any field. So, Eliot is a classicist, he is a traditionalist, he is a great innovator. Innovator is a man who innovates. It means who does not go by only what has been told or what has been said. No doubt, he does not ignore those things which have been told, which have been said, which have been written. He honors them. He respects them. He abides by them. He reads them. He muses upon them. He admires them. He imbibes them. But at the same time, he tries to give something new also. He tries to bring something fresh also. So, and Eliot does so. So, Eliot is a great innovator. He is a critic. He is a social thinker. He is a philosopher. He is a mystic. All combined one. So whenever we talk of T.S. Eliot, जब कभी हम T.S. Eliot की बात करते हैं, we talk of Eliot as a classicist. We talk of Eliot as a traditionalist. We talk of Eliot as an innovator. We talk of Eliot as a critic. We talk of Eliot as a journalist. We talk of Eliot as a dramatist. We talk of Eliot as a social thinker. We think of Eliot as a reformist, you can say. We think of Eliot as a philosopher. We think of Eliot as a mystic. So Eliot is many in one. You might have heard the phrase 2 in 1, 3 in 1, 4 in 1. So Eliot is many in one. He is, as I have told you in the previous video, that by birth Eliot is an American. Eliot by birth American है, but the whole world knows him as a great English writer, as a great English literature. It is just because Eliot has got British citizenship after marrying a British lady, a British girl, and settling there in England. Eliot has toured a lot. He has visited so many European countries, and his touring, his visiting to so many European countries fills him with so many innovative ideas. Eliot has read different cultures. He has undergone different civilizations. Eliot has, or Eliot's personality shows different traits simply because he has studied, he has observed different cultures. He has read French literature. He has gone through German literature. He has gone through American literature. He has gone through Indian literature. And while going through such literary activity, such literature, he undergoes the different cultures, different civilization, because each and every work of a particular nation is very much symbolic of its civilization and its culture. The work of each nation, each country gives the smell, gives the sweet smell, gives the flavor, gives the chonk, you can say, of its soil, of its civilization, of its culture. And Eliot has studied, not only studied, rather he has mused, M-U-S-E-D, he has mused upon the works he has undergone. So he has a very beautiful and kind and considerate understanding of different civilizations and different cultures. So it is because of his understanding of different cultures and civilizations that Eliot gets a very cosmopolitan attitude in literature. His attitude towards literature is very much cosmopolitan. As I have told you in that particular video, that Eliot enjoys more than 75 years upon this beautiful earth. So he has got a very long span of life, and he was a committed literateur, you can say. He devoted 45 years of his life in the very service of literature. He very actively devoted himself to literary activities for 45 years. And during these 45 years, he writes poems, plays, literary and social essays. During this period, he works like a journalist. He works as an editor for different magazines and journals. So he or his literary activity is very complex one. One can't go through all these things at one time. So, if we have to understand, if we have to know T.S. Eliot, we have to know him separately rather. Eliot as a poet, Eliot as a dramatist, Eliot as a journalist, Eliot as a writer of literary essays, Eliot as a writer of social essays, Eliot as an editor, Eliot as a journalist. Because I have told you just a while that Eliot is many in one. So, his writings, for the convenience of a reader, can be studied under the following heads, and such as poetry, drama, and prose. First of all, we must focus upon Eliot as a poet. And Eliot's poetic career is very vast, is very long, you can say. So, this poetic career of Eliot has been divided into 5 groups or 5 phases, you can say. Starting with the first phase, that is Eliot's juvenilia. And this period starts in 1905 and goes up to 1909. Eliot's juvenilia. This period is the period when Eliot was studying at school. He was a school-going boy. He was in his juvenile period, you can say. He has not got his 18 at that time. He was just a child. But as a child, as I have told you earlier also, he has started writing poems. He has started showing his literary streaks. However, the poems or the literary activities of that particular period is not matured one. How can it be matured? Because the man who was behind those literary activities was himself immature, was in his juvenile period. So, those works are green one as far as ideas are concerned, as far as style is concerned. They are not ripe one. They are not matured one. However, they show the streak of the future of Eliot. These works of this period tell a lot about Eliot, who was on the way to become a literary wizard, a mighty signature in the field of 20th century. These works show the streak of his genius. These works show the streak of his mettle and caliber as a writer, as a marathon writer, you can say. However, these works are less important, are not so important, you can say. Dear students, that's all for today. In my next class, I would be discussing, however briefly, regarding the other 4 phases or 4 periods in the poetic career of T.S. Eliot. And after that, very briefly, I will focus upon some dramatic activities of Eliot, and then we will come to discuss Eliot as a critic, because we have to lay emphasis upon Eliot as a critic. We have to read Eliot as a critic. Our syllabus asks us to go through T.S. Eliot's critical treatise, that is 3 essays. And the essays are Tradition and the Individual Talent, The Function of the Criticism, and The Frontiers of Criticism. But as I have told you, that however Eliot as a poet, Eliot as a dramatist, Eliot as a journalist, Eliot as a critic are different, but there is common also. Eliot as a poet is not different from Eliot as a critic, in many senses rather. So, if one has to read Eliot as a critic, one must have rather a very little understanding of Eliot as a poet also, because Eliot's poetic and critical activities go side by side. That's all for today. Dear friends, I am trying to inculcate your curiosity in Eliot. I would like that you should go through the works of Eliot. You should also try to go through Eliot as a poet, as a dramatist, as a journalist, as a critic. You must also try to develop your understanding regarding Eliot. And it's my little effort to guide you in that area, in that kshetra, in that region, in that field. I am not just teaching you, I can't teach you. This is not my work to teach. I am not teaching rather, I am not lecturing. I am rather trying to guide you. I am rather trying to suggest you to focus your attention upon your study. Of course, this period we are going through is a very, very rough, tough, and bizarre period, but there is nothing to get disappointed, because after every sunset there is sunrise. There must be the sun of Umeed. There must be the sun of hope in all of us. There is no night which has no morning. So this period will also go. The present situation will not long last. The time will come when we will be moving, we will be enjoying the bounties of the earth freely. But these epidemics, these pandemics bring lessons for us also. We must be kind and considerate to our fellow beings, to our brothers and sisters. We must be sympathetic to them. We must love the humanity. If we stand together, we might face any calamity. So let us pray to God to sanitize us all, to sanitize our thinking, so to sanitize our mind, so that our mind would be malice free. Thanks a lot. Thank you. God bless you all.